There's a very fine line between network marketing, telemarketing, business overall, anything that has to do with pushing a product or service, and lying. In many cases, you and I bought something because it was marketed a certain way, but then when we got it, we're like, what is this? We felt like we were lied to. Today, we're going to talk about the psychology, the science behind why human beings overall lie and why they do it to the 10th power when it comes to the business. This is your strategic partner show, baby. If you're ready, let's go.
I've been caught up since the day that we met, and you haven't seen the best of me yet. There's nothing like you and me together, and your eyes have been so hard to forget. But there's something you're trying to hide. There's something you're keeping inside. I'm trying to get to know you much better. It don't matter how much time it takes. I just can't give up. Whoa, I just can't give up. Can't give up. I just can't give up. I just can't give up.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, whatever you are around the world. Ali Madawi here, your strategic partner, and the man in the place to be, right from North Carolina, the man amid the legend, Tokoyo Carlton is in the building. What's up, boss?
What's up, champ? Everything is going super fantastic. Got my nap in, so I'm highly motivated to do this, man. So looking straight forward to it right now.
I dig it, and I'm actually really excited. Folks, this is very, very, very exclusive. I'd even say very unique. It has never happened before where in our show, Debbie Salmons is on vacation, so have fun, young lady. And Tokoyo and I are absolutely exclusive on tonight's episode. And for those of you who are part of our entrepreneurial community, Influencer Attraction Media, we are doing an exclusive one-on-one, mano-a-mano, Tokoyo Carlton and Ali Madawi. You got the AM and TC in the building at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It has never happened before. We've been in similar platforms in the same room, but we've never exclusively went all in. And you are going to decide on the topic. Yes, you ask whatever you need us to cover for you, whatever circumstance, situation, business, and we're going to go for educational. Now, if you know anything about Tokoyo and myself, we tend to be the yin to the yang. I'm all about practical processes. He's all about mental processes. But when you blend both of them together, it's like your favorite Frappuccino with a little bit of cream right on top and that caramel. Yeah, it makes it all good. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us know where you're chiming in from, because you just may be a special guest for us on tonight's episode. But before we start, Tokoyo, let me know, how was the last couple of days since we saw you last week?
Man, I tell you, I said it was getting good last week, and I tell you what, this week it's getting even better. Getting close to launching some services, not just in North Carolina, not just in Texas, but also in Georgia. Where we're going to actually be putting together a sales team for a company. And man, we're super excited about that because it's going to actually help a lot of people to really, kind of put that money together that they need, and of course, change some lives. And of course, this is not even a network marketing company. This is actual traditional business that we're endeavoring on. So I'm excited about it, brother.
That is fantastic. Well, let me brag a little. My little baby boy, Sebastian, officially launched his own YouTube channel yesterday. Nice. And boy, I thought my man, was kind of taking a little bit on his dad on a few areas. Yeah, that's my boy. Like I don't need no DNA test. That's my son. The way he does things, the way he's excited about life, the way he wants to share, the way he wants to be on YouTube. Maybe a phase, whatever he wants to do in his life. He can tell me I want to be a janitor, and that's my passion. I will absolutely make sure that he is the best janitor that I can be. However, my boy is absolutely reminded me that, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. We put his first episode yesterday. He was excited at first seeing himself on video, educating on, toys and trucks and, like calling them the right things. I just call them vehicles, toy vehicles, toy cars. And, he's like, no, Papa, that's not it. this is this soy, and this is why it's called this way, and this has a scooper, and this has this, and yada yada yada. But the moment I turned on the smart TV and I clicked on the YouTube app, and then he saw his face in the corner, he just went berserk. I almost was mad at myself that I did not film that moment. I mean, he was so excited, and so I'm very, very proud about that. My beautiful wife got her very first influencer gig, a company that she took a gig with, not network marketing. She just took a couple of pictures with a product and got some moolah for it. So we're excited about that. Her Instagram is blowing up. So I think we may be doing something right, within our community. And of course, we onboarded so many brand new members to our Influencer Attraction Media. If you are a member, let us know in the comment. We want to give you a shout out because you are the real MVP. And we also took on a few clients on the higher end, full-blown 6 weeks consultation and PR services, which we are so grateful for and excited to create the magic for. Oh, and we got a company, and I'm just going to say company out of respect of our agreement. We got them on the Los Angeles Tribune, and we got them on an international tour. So I'm so excited about that. They say documentation beats conversation any day. And boy, we just got documented big time this week. Anyhow, so let's transition, since we talk about documentation beats conversation, right? Tokoyo, have you ever been lied to in any business or in any purchase that you have ever made, ever? Or are you from unicorn land where you never have been lied to?
No, I think it's more prevalent now. Once you add in social media and online marketing and all these different companies who are sending these ads in Instagram and Facebook and all these different places. So it's so much easier to get tricked. And I don't even want to say lied to. I would say more tricked, because I just give you one example. And of course, I've had individuals do it too as well. But I just give you one example. I was on Instagram and I was strolling, and I'm in my car a lot. So there's this little device. You may have seen it in one of my videos, to where like if you wave your hand by it, it looks magical. It'll open up for you and you can pull your phone out of it, right? So I'm sitting there, I'm looking at this video, and of course their video looks amazing. Everybody who's using this thing is working every single time. It looks, it looks so like, it looks very nice, on the screen, right? On Instagram, it looked very different than the item that I received, right? So basically, what happened was I actually ordered two of them because I wanted one for me and one for my son, because we travel a lot together. And so they came, and I said, okay, is this it? Right? I didn't know if it was it or not, because it didn't look as shiny. It didn't look as big, right? It didn't look as mechanical as the device that was online. They got me. I was excited. They did a great marketing strategy behind it. And of course, when I got the item,
yeah, I already know what you mean.
It was nothing like that. Didn't even look like the item on the video, right? And so again, that was that thing. I'm still using it today, actually. I don't even use the function where it opens anymore, because it only opens when it feels like it. So that was just one item. It's like, it's so many ways that you can get bamboozled, right?
Yeah.
You can get tricked. You can get hoodwinked, right? So all that stuff, man, you just have to watch out now and just be cognizant of everything that you take advantage of, online and offline. And like I said, online is just so scary the way it is today. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
You, sir.
How about you, that you're watching and listening to us right now? Have you ever had somebody or a company that you were kind of considering that they kind of keep it real with you, but unfortunately they sent you something, you go to Wendy's, you look so beautiful, you try to get that thing and you're like, what is this? Why is it so flat? In your picture, it looks this big, right? Yeah. So now here is the flip side to that. And I will answer first before anybody does. Have you ever lied, hyped up, exaggerated, said something that might not have been per se all the way the right information, just because you were like, I just need one sale. I just need to prove to myself that I can do it. I'll go first. Yes, 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 and yes. I've made all of those mistakes. And I insist on mistakes because, it's a phase that I did not have the right mentorship and a leadership to educate me on the ramifications of those actions until 6-7 years later. And I wrote a whole book about it on the Lion Network Marketer, available in the app right now. Okay, that was a famous plug. But the bottom line is, I've made all of those mistakes, but I want to know from you, dear listener, and Tokoyo, please help me out in here. Have you made those mistakes as well? However young or experienced you have been in business, and whether network marketing or not. And there's a reason why I'm asking these questions.
Yeah. So, I don't know, guys. So let me just kind of put it this way, because I know we have a lot of. I'm looking on the list right now, the comments. They're mainly network marketers, and of course, I don't know how seasoned you are or where you are in your journey in home-based business, but people can be really, what's the word? Persuasive, right? People can be really persuasive. People can become great advertisers for what it is that they do. So they can make anything sound so great, right? Like I I was approached by a company a few years ago, and it just seems like, have you ever, let me ask y'all something. Have you ever got approached by someone about a company, a network marketing company, and you're like, they tell you the service or they tell you that product, let's just talk product. And you're like, that's the business is behind this. It's literally like someone starting a business and they just want to, start a business just to start a business. So their product could be like, you know what? Hey, we got this new plastic bottle right here, right? And if you notice, there's some water in it right now, all that stuff, and it's beautiful. Look at the design on this thing right here. And of course, you go and you join this company, or you don't join this company. Or it's like me, I'm really particular. I listen to people and I understand what they're saying, and I'm just not jumping on anything. I don't know if that's just time or just listen, man, that don't sound right. That sounds stupid, dude. Like, really, you pushing that? And so I remember I got a call a few years ago, and this guy was trying to get me into this deal. Now I'm a guy, and he called me up, and another guy called another guy, right? And so we were talking. He was like, listen, man, we got this new thing. It's about to go crazy. And it's a lot of top leaders. They're jumping in on it, all this stuff. And it's for women for their time of the month, right? I forget what they called it, but it was like, it was hyped up. And I was like, dude, come on now. How can I? Seriously. Now, I know there's guys who do, makeup, Mary Kay, Avon, all that stuff. But that, I was like, really, dude? I don't know. I can't do that. That's just not in me. I can't see myself coming up to someone and starting a conversation about their cycle.
I know exactly what you're talking about too.
I can't do it.
I know exactly what company it was. And it was a great, oh my God, why is there 80% of the company leadership are men? And then the company flopped like within like 6 months.
Dude, literally, I mean, and the crazy thing about it, because the gentleman sold me so much on it, and I was like, as he was telling me, I was just like, no, no, man, seriously. And he's a good friend of mine. I highly respect him. And I was just like, what have you gotten yourself into, man? The whole time. And then I actually got started. Like you said, 6 months later, they didn't have stuff that we knew better. The leadership wasn't in place, right? The company wasn't stable. They didn't have the finance right. They didn't have the inventory right. They didn't have the back office right. So they were literally wanting us to go ahead and get this business going with no product, right? And that's something you have to share and show, right? And so can you imagine me walking into a living room full of women and guys, and I had this stuff and I had to demonstrate that?
Forget that. I remember when I got the phone call and I was like, listen, I have to be a product of the product, and I can guarantee you I will not be a product of the product. It's like, well, obviously you have women in your life that you care about and your wife. I'm like, yeah, sure. Hold on a second. I literally was like, hey, babe, do you want to talk about such and such? She was like, don't you put me on such a call. Like, absolutely not. I'm like, did you hear that? He's like, yeah. I'm like, that will give you my evaluation as to why I will not get involved. Like, what are you, crazy, man? Yeah, it's very interesting. And I think the gentleman and the whole leadership meant very, very well.
Right.
But unfortunately, and if I may, Tokoyo, can I give you the exact scientific reason why people lie? May I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because you know me, I like to do my homework. So
I know you do.
So what is the scientific reason for lying? So electrical stimulation on the prefrontal cortex appears to improve our ability to deceive. This region of the brain may, among other things, be responsible for the decision to lie or tell the truth. Most people don't have it fully developed. So most people can't control themselves but to actually lie. So it's part of the human element to, whether you call it a white lie or whether you call it like a criminal lie, a lie is a lie, right? Like the dog ate my homework, or, I didn't kill him. Like the glove don't fit, right? Whichever it is, it's a part of our brain that's never per se really fully mature or fully formulated, that many of us human beings don't have much of a control over it. So that's when we reach out to prospect and like, hey, can you jump on a Zoom? Like, no, dude, I got to kids soccer at 9 p.m. Yeah, it's indoor. The lights will be on. It's just unfortunately a thing that we are conditioned or preconditioned with as human beings. Now, the reason I wanted to kind of bring this to light, there's a way that you as the business owner overcome it. And that very basic reason is called positive challenging. A positive challenging is when you tell me, Tokoyo, like, yeah, I can't make the Zoom. Well, listen, can you and I watch the replay tomorrow at any time that you're available? See, you're shaking your head. You're like, ah, man, got him. Checkmate, right?
Got him.
So that is a positive challenge, right? Or when somebody tells me like, oh, you don't understand. I really don't have money. I'm like, well, what are we talking about here? I don't have $20. I'm just making something up. I'm like, with all the respect, I'm a grown man and so are you. And how do you feel about telling another grown man that you don't have, or rather you don't know how to create $20 on your own this week? $20 that I know for a fact, if I go into your bank statement right now, I find that you spent $20 on something dumb, probably fast foods, and I know we go to fast food. We're like, I'm just going to get something from the dollar menu, $19.95. How do we get here? Right. So the reason I'm sharing this is very first thing is you and I as entrepreneurs need to show grace to people because they unfortunately have been built that way. Think about our parents. We were told once upon a time that Christmas or Santa Claus is real. Right. We were told that there was a tooth fairy. My family think that I'm a horrible father because Sebastian knows that it's his uncle Hassan who comes in once a year dressed up as Santa. Like he literally walks in. My brother gets mad because he drives and walks in and drags himself into all this shenanigans just to be greeted by Sebastian at the door. Hey, Uncle Hassan. My son knows, like when we talk about the tooth fairy, his cousin, he's 7 years old. So we talk about the tooth fairy and he's like, Papa, do you know that's pretend, right? I'm like, oh, yeah. I totally get it. Like, it's just a thing people do so they can give their kids money and make them feel good. I'm like, but keep it a secret from me and you, Sebastian, because the world will think you're crazy, son. Right?
I know.
So I believe that our parents raised us that way, not because they were bad, but because their parents raised them that way. I remember when we used to go to the stadium or the attraction field or whatever we would go, and my father and my mother would deliberately say, don't you dare say you're 6. I'm going to say you're 4. You just nod. Okay. Because they know the child be like, no, I'm 6. I'm a big boy. Right. So I will be threatened by my own parents. Don't you dare and tell the truth. Lie. Lie so we can save $2. You know, like so just think about us growing up as children, right? Like I have family members that like, hey, make sure if you ever apply for applications, just select this ethnicity and select this race because you'll be able to get some perks. I'm like, yeah, but you're not that. Well, nah, well, technically I'm Spanish, so I can blend in. I'm like, what? So, but your children are watching and your children are listening. So you're developing a generation of mental behavior that we deemed normal. But then when it comes to you and I doing business with people, we think like people lie, people this, people that. Well, unfortunately, we all have been built that way. It's just some of us are more aware. I'm not perfect and neither are you.
Right.
But we're just more aware and cautious of what we say and what we can commit to. And to a certain extent, we just know how to control it.
Hey, real quick, let me jump in. Just a question. I throw that out to you and I throw it out to the folks out there listening. When is it okay to tell a little white lie? When is it okay to tell a lie? Because we're talking about telling lies and doing the right thing. Of course, we want to do the right thing, but is there times where it's a must, where you have to, because we know there's life or death and stuff like that. So talk to me about that, because we can try to be, like you said, perfect as we can, but we're all human. And sometimes, you know, we do that for someone's own good, if you will. So talk to me about it, Ali. You know, how do you feel about that?
So you said we do it for someone's own good. So we think.
Right. Until
someone realizes what we told them was a lie all along. You know, I'll give you a extremely personal example. My my second youngest sister, with our growing up and upcoming, she was told by her mom, my stepmom. Well, let me rephrase that. She wasn't told that there was 2 marriages and 2 sets of kids from 2 marriages. So since she was born, she was under the impression that we were one father and mother bloodline, right? And we came out here to the United States, and she was never told why we came to the United States. She was under the impression we came here for school. And it was because to protect her, because she was a baby. She was 4 or 5 years old at the time, just so she does not lose her marbles. Well, guess what happened when she turned 12 years old and she overheard siblings and, you know, the aunts and uncles and whatnot talking. And she was like, wait, what you said? And then my mother, my biological mother, gets mentioned for the very first time. And then she was like, what is going on here? Why didn't I, like, she went into a very horrible depression, really bad. For a 12-year-old, you thought you did the right thing, but now that 12-year-old is holding it against you. That 12-year-old is thinking, you robbed me out of a childhood that I thought I had, but I could have done so much more to be closer or have these individuals closer to me, while all along you're making me think they're there for school. So I don't think it's absolutely okay. I will tell you what I do with my kids. And I'm, again, my family think that I'm brutal, you know, for doing that. But, you know, my mother sometimes, who lives in Florida, she will be on FaceTime and she'll tell, you know, my son, hey, I'm going to be coming to see you soon. And I will literally turn and be like, she's not. She's like, hey, why would you say that? I'm like, well, Mom, he's going to ask me starting Monday, is grandma coming? Is grandma coming? And I have to make you look bad and say, no, she never booked her flight. She just told you that so you can feel good. So I always tell my family, don't do that, because he will hold that against you and me. You know, Sebastian always like, hey, Papa, if I do good in school, can you buy me this toy? I'm like, no. Why not? Because I don't get you stuff because you're doing good in school. You're supposed to do good in school, in life, period. But you work with us every other, because I give him his $5 a week. He gets his little salary for chief church officer. That's his role. So guess what? Hey, you have your own money, right? What do? We put a picture on the wall. Why? So you know how much it is, and then you get to save for it, right? So we've built certain common sense behaviors for our children. So I'm never put in a position to lie. And I don't lie to my son. I don't care. But the perfect example today, and every parent, like I took him out of soccer and he had a horrible behavior today. It wasn't that he didn't play good. He had a horrible behavior. It was kind of like a mixed crowd. So he was a 4.5-year-old who was imitating every other kid that was around him. And he realized, like he's that dad look, what I'm talking about? Yeah. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Okay. So he notices it. And in the field, he goes like, what? I was like, nothing. So he finishes, he comes to me, he's like, how did I do? I'm like, I will be honest with you and say, I'm very disappointed on your behavior. I think you were very disrespectful. And then he did the I'm about to cry face. I'm like, may I explain why? And I mean, mind you, I have a whole bunch of parents looking at me like, what is this guy doing to his 4.5-year-old? So, because, the guy who's trying to do the right thing is the weird one. So I'm like,
that's right.
I took the time out of my day, Sebastian, to bring you in here. I could have stayed home and done so many more things. The coaches are trying so hard to teach you. Your friends that you were playing with were waiting on you to do your part, but you guys lost 4-0 because you were being silly. You were being disrespectful. So I think you had the worst day you've had in a very, very long time, not because you're not a good player, not because you're a bad boy. I think you just made bad decisions today and you were very disrespectful to everyone. And I think you should go and apologize to everybody. He cried it out for a minute, went and apologized to everybody. Then we got in the car. He's upstairs happy living the life. Right. So I think those are the opportunities to build core values, especially you're talking about a white lie. You're not talking about, I sold the house and I didn't tell my family. Like, it's a tiny thing, man. Yeah. And I think we are just conditioned for those white lies. Now, again, for those who are listening and watching, that's me. That's how I operate. You may have a different operating system, and to each his own. I respect you for who you are as a human being on this world. As long as you're happy with your decision, God bless. That's between you and you. But that's how I would operate.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And I think I think more people should do that. Like, I try honesty with all my kids, like all ages, like they're all different ages now. And I like to just be real with them because I don't know, like my father was, one of those guys who he's one of those tough love guys, right? Fathers, like, old school 50s, 60s, 70s grew up, and he didn't hold no punches.
Yeah.
And so it was like with my kids, and I get a little flack from family sometimes. I like to let them know what's going on, because I want them to know that in life, stuff is real. Like, consequences are real, and I have that conversation talk. Like, at first, as growing up, I would, with my dad, it was more, it wasn't a lot of this, a lot of mental talking and then explaining like you just did. Right. But I thought there's a different way. And so for me growing up, that's the route I took as well, is to explain everything. And, it's crazy when I would do that with my kids, they would, I would, like, instead of like getting a whooping or a spanking or whatever you want to call it. Right. And in our, population, we call it the A whooping. Right. So
what does the A stand for?
We can't say it on this one, right? This is a kid's show, right?
All right. Yeah. Well, let's just say as seen on TV.
All right. So the whole thing was with me, I got the same response that my dad was trying to get by doing what he got growing up. As I got the same response with them as far as the crying and knowing that they were wrong, because I talked to them. Like, they literally don't want to talk to me because they know that I'm gonna say whatever, and I'm gonna talk to them. I'm gonna be real with them, and I'm gonna tell them why you shouldn't do this, or this is gonna happen, right? And because we know as parents, we know they're lying, right? We know when they're lying. We know when they're telling the truth. And as some parents, I think that's why we have a lot of adults who do the things that they do, because some parents think that's cute. Oh, that's cute. He said that he did this, and and they let that stuff slide. And over time, they just get accustomed to it. They get used to it, and then next thing you know, they're doing it to their friends and their teachers.
And how you do anything is how you do anything. It's you're so spot on. By the way, I hope if you're listening, you gotta pick up on what is being done here, because you are literally creating a human's mindset, attitude, and daily behavior. And here's the scary part. Your kids are going to learn you. They're going to learn, oh, okay, I see what you did there. I see when you lie. I see why you lied. I see how you lied. And forget the fact that they're going to emulate and repeat what you're doing to everybody else, right? But now they can start figuring you out. And when you are telling the truth, you're not being taken seriously because they're like, you bluffing right now, or this is the real deal. Again, I get a lot of slack from my family about how I am with Sebastian, but I tell them the truth. With all the respect, I am raising an extraordinary child, so he cannot be treated in an ordinary fashion. You might not relate to what I just said, but that's just my choice to be the best version of a father that I can be for this child. And until you are in the same lane with me of giving nothing but the best that he could ever be, I will fight back in a positive, professional, respectful way. But I will call you out, and I call him out all the time. Every time I'm like, oh, I'm gonna come see you this weekend. I'm like, can you just be specific when you say you're gonna come this weekend? Are you actually coming, or are you just being an uncle? Are you just being well, I just got to figure out some things. Okay, so can you please, because he will literally wake up on Saturday and start asking me to call you. Are you coming to my soccer practice too, or are you just coming to play with me? And then I have to tell him, no, he's a liar in whatever political nice way that I can, but I'm going to make you look like a liar. No, he just said that because he just wanted to make you feel good, because I'm not going to take on your sins, for whatever reason, whether you're trying to please somebody or not. Those days are long gone for me. Exactly. And I had many of those flaws, and I'm a flawed human being. I'm not perfect, but I'm working through my son at least to not embed those horrible core values that were embedded in me within him as well.
Yeah, and here's the thing, man. Like, I have people in my life, and it's like, you just like in your mind, just like, man, grow up. Because it's like, when do we start to mature? When do we start to make the right choices? When do we start to, be real and be right? And it's a real challenge, man, because sometimes you can get away. You can get away with something. And it's like, I hate to say hate myself sometimes, because I always try to do, like, I try to do the right thing 99.9% of the time. Right. I try to, like, I'm
there
very
is no try. It's either do or do not.
Do or do not. Right. Oh, there's no try. Right. So the whole thing is like I literally now see situations where I know I can get over, and I catch myself, and it's like, it's so weird. Like, I was watching a commercial one time. I think it was USAA or something like that, an insurance commercial, and it had like 3 service members and how they drive, and it says Sarah, she even turns on a turn signal when no one's even watching. And that's the point I'm making right there, right? Like Ollie's like, we're
bragging about doing the right thing, huh?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think when you start to recognize those things and start personally taking accountability for the things you do, your actions, it may not feel good in the moment, but later you feel better because it's like, I did the right thing. Like, that's so important to me, man. Like, I want to do the right thing. Like, my name is Bond. Like, if someone's like, if you want to piss me off, you want to make me mad, tell me I lied. Tell me I'm lying to you, or accuse me of something, because I know better. Right? Like, that would, like, it start out. I'm the one. I'm gonna get the tears gonna come down. The veins gonna start popping out my head, because I hate for someone to accuse me of anything.
Yeah.
Right. That's negative or something, because I know how hard I try to do the right thing. And I think more people need to be that way, as opposed to taking the easy road and saying, you know what, I can get over it, so I'm gonna get over.
I dig it. Man, we don't want to piss off Tokoyo, so I'm gonna take a commercial break right now. Let's take a deep breath. Let's pay some bills, Tokoyo. So, hey, if you are now part of the influencer attraction media community, it is your time to do so today. Go to iam.media. It's right there below. iam.media, and you get to take advantage of everything that we offer. Modules that get dropped every single 10 group coaching that will be taking place tonight at 8 p.m. and every week at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and being part of the best entrepreneurial community so you can learn how to start, grow, or scale business. And of course, everything you could imagine, we deliver it and provide it. All right, Tokoyo, let's talk about this whole thing about taking it personal. Why do you think many people actually don't take it personal? Because, mama says if you're dumb enough to lie, you should know you're dumb enough to get caught. And many people, unfortunately, I mean, me and you just went through a whole experience where, we had a whole operation that flopped just because there was a lot of things that were not necessarily in light. Why do you think people don't respect themselves enough to at least be aware and cautious? Because, again, to give you an example, I have people that ask me a lot of personal questions about projects and companies and partners and whatnot. And while I could be like, oh, yeah, let me tell you about the bank account, and let me tell you about this, and let me tell you about that, I'm usually very cautious. And, I'm like, that's a great question. And I prefer that you ask it directly to the companies because I don't want to give you any misleading information because whatever I tell you is just partial. So that's my political way of saying, like, mind your damn business. I'm not going to tell you. And I don't want, like, for real, because it is true, though. Like, if me and you were in business together and, I'm asked, hey, when is Tokoyo going to release his services? You may tell me, hey, we're looking at sometime next week. Now, if I say next week, and God forbid, technology issues, which always happens, or whatever delays, now I'm a liar and I made you look like a liar too. So we got to be responsible. So what do you think that, and for you, the listener, the viewer, let us know, why do you think people don't feel a sense of responsibility with claims, whether it's financial claims, whether it's health claims, whether it's any service claims, like everyone has the perfect product with the perfect compensation plan, with the perfect service, with the perfect team, and nothing will ever go wrong, right? Like it's a phenomenon to me to kind of like, I'm confused. Why do you think people are just not responsible with their own words?
Let me chime in real quick.
Go for it.
On that. I think first thing is, okay. All right. So first thing, I think when someone isn't acting responsible for the things that they say and do, I think a lot of times it's because it's that like thing they want, right? They want people to like them. They don't want people to not, care about them or love them. So they do it because they want people to like them. And sometimes being honest, is just the right thing to do. So they may be mad in the moment, but just being honest sometimes come out the right way, right? People respect you so much more than you just adding one lie on top of the next lie and another lie on top of that. So, I'm like, Ali knows a lot of stuff about me. And I tell him, like, the situation, people think like Tokoyo Carlson's a millionaire. He's got all these businesses. He's doing all this stuff. And I tell Ali, listen, man, it's struggle. I got things going on. And that's the thing. Like, I could sit there and promote that I'm doing this and I'm making all this and doing all this stuff, but I never have. Like, people assume that like he's a multi-millionaire and this and that because he's always positive, because he's the stuff that I post and all that stuff. Of course, we're on our way to doing that stuff, but I'm always honest about what I do. So if you ask me, I just feel compelled to say the right thing. And so some people, they don't want other people to be mad at them or upset at them. So they rather just lie. They rather just tell a half truth, right? I want to be straight up from the get-go. So if you don't like me, you don't like me. We find out today how you feel about me. So, the whole thing is I just rather just go ahead and get it out right up front. Like, here's where I'm at. Here's what's going on. Either you take it or you leave it, right? That's where I'm at. But
here's the thing, though.
If
you look at it from Colombian pesos perspective, you're a hecton millionaire, just for the record. I'm just saying. No, I appreciate that, and it's so interesting that you bring that to light. So many people commingle, their lives with what is perceived to be success, right? And I know people because of that who literally emptied their bank account on something so dumb just so they can build credibility for themselves, you know. And it, listen, it's okay to live, it's okay to celebrate life. I am not against that at all. I just think you need to be responsible with it. You know, I'll give you an example. John and Nadia Melton. You know, you and I both know who they are.
Right.
I love them. I admire them. They taught me so much. They are living the life right now. You know, like for 12 years straight, they hustled. They lived in a small place. But once they came out and, like, you know, it started with the big, huge house with the sauna in it, the gym in it, the indoor, outdoor pool, then the Maseratis and the Teslas and the car. Now they're on their way to buying their third property that is a $500,000 to $1 million property that they're purchasing, and they're flipping. And so they're in that space right now. And then they're showing the lifestyle. But here's what I admire about John, specifically. John always does that. He reminds everybody after everybody. Now, just so you guys know, you may see the teeth and the house and the watches and the Gucci's and all this stuff. It took me 12 whole broke years.
Yep.
Every day in, day out, morning, afternoon, evening, companies that shut down on me, people that didn't want to do business with me. I lost it many times over. So yeah, I'm celebrating that. So if you want this, make sure you have 12 years to give out of your life to failure. If you're not willing to do that, don't talk to me about having possessions. Not that I respect. You know, most people don't do that though. Most people do I've always been this great.
Yeah,
I've always had it, you know, but that's the deceiving part, unfortunately. So, you know, it's an interesting, a very, very interesting factor. Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder, tonight, it is the head-to-head, mano a mano, first time ever, Tokoyo Carlton and Ali Madawi on our private community. You are not going to want to miss that. If you're not part of our community, make sure you shoot over IM.media. It's an average of $1.50 a day. That's that guy who said, I don't got $1.50 a day, and I'm going to challenge you in a positive way. I'm like, what you talking about, Willis? It's $1.50. Right. So, Tokoyo, I know we're going to talk in a minute about a motivational moment. And I definitely appreciate your passion today, by the way. It seems that this is a very, very passionate subject. In network marketing specifically, there is a lot of lying. It's not a matter of marketing something and showing something. There's just straight up blatant lying. Now, I'm not talking about reps alone. I'm talking about prospects who lie to the actual rep. I'm talking about everybody. I'm not taking a dig at network marketing here. I'm saying everyone lies. And I just want to remind everyone, it is because every human being has been conditioned by their parents to do just that. You know, the prospect who's scared to say, I don't want to do it, they just say, my wife said that she doesn't want me to get involved. Or they say, I don't have money. Or they say it's a pyramid or whatever it is. And then the network marketer who's been desperate and has his wife behind the Zoom or her husband behind the Zoom doing like, better make this sale right now, right? They are saying whatever. And now let me share with you, because I don't want you to think that I'm professing perfection. I wrote a book called The Lying Network Marketer. And in the very first chapter, called The Rookie Mistake, I talked about my own experience with that, where I had my very first PBR, private business reception, if y'all remember that. And I had 2 people in the house, 2 guests out of the 32 that said they were definitely coming and they'll definitely be there. And they did not lie to me. And then the young lady by the name of DJ looked at me and she said, hey, this refer 2 people and make $1,000. Did you make that already? Now, mind you, that was my very first week, my very first PBR. But I had my wife in one corner who knew that I spent $1,000 without telling her. And then I had my upline / the support team, the leader, the top producer on the other side. And he had his arms like this. And this is what he's doing. Nodding to me, say yes. And I was like, yeah, 2 people, $1,000 is nothing. Popcorn, I'll be right back. I'm going to go get some water. I lied. I could have simply and easily said, like, no, DJ, I just started like 3 days ago. What makes you think that I refer? You're my first person, But I lied, and she signed up. Now, talk about a white lie, right? Or a blatant lie, not even a white lie. DJ tried. She had multiple PBRs. She tried so hard, referred so many people. No one would sign up. And then I'll never forget. She said, I'm only built to be a server. I'm not good enough to be a businesswoman like you are, Ali. And she's never done business ever again. Imagine I robbed her. So I'm gonna pass it on to you and piggyback to you on that, because that's something I have to live with forever. And DJ and I are cool. We loved on each other. I hugged her. We are okay. But it is something that it took me a while to even open up about.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for opening up.
Yeah, have fun.
Yeah.
Layup.
No. Here's the thing, man. I think because we're talking about, because it starts young, like this habit of lying starts young, and I think it's so crazy because I think a lot of parents give their kids permission to do that, like you said, by them watching you and your activities, your dealings with other people. They're getting this stuff, and I like I said, I just wish we would be more honest with ourselves and with our kids, our family. And that really, like, when I see someone, like, I have a friend who, lies for no reason.
Like, you sure he's your friend?
No, I call him a friend. We don't talk all the time, but we talk, and I do care about him. We've known each other for so long.
Well, he called you a friend. He said he lies for no reason. That's why I said, are you sure you're his friend?
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, I know he's probably lied on me a couple of times. Probably. Well, I think I know anyways. But the whole thing is that he lies for no reason. Like, you don't have to, man. It's me and you. I've known you for 20 plus years. What are you doing? Like, I've known you since you were in your 20s. And it's like, why do you feel like you have to lie to me? Lie to them. Don't lie to me. Right. And so it's like, that's the same reason, the same way when I talk to Ali, I'm honest as all get out, man. With where I'm at, whatever. I don't need to lie to him. He's my friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do I need to lie about him? He knows everything that's going on. You know what I'm saying? And and I think that's, like, for a lot of us, we don't have that relationship with people. And you always feel like you have to hide parts of yourself, your life, because you don't want them to know this, or they might feel a different way. That it goes back to that likability. Like, I always want to be liked. Like, people don't want the truth to come out because they want people to like them. They don't want to know that bad part about them, or they made a mistake or whatever.
Fear of judgment.
Yeah, that too. Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. And and even just like in the business, man, we know that there's a lot of hype in network marketing and home-based business. And, like, our company is promoting 7,000 in 7 weeks. Well, I haven't made 7,000 in 7 weeks, right? But that's the promotion. But it's possible, right? There's a definition of how you do it, right? But everybody's not going to come in and make 7,000 in 7 weeks. Is that a lie? No, it's a promotion. It's possible, right? It goes back to that Will Smith movie when he's telling his son, Jaden, that, hey, listen, possibly we're going to the football game, right? And his son gets kind of upset and ag a little bit because he says, you say we're going. No, son, I said possibly we're going. And then he breaks down the definition of what that means.
Yeah. But right? See, the difference between what you did and what happens is you actually said, hey, this is possible, and I can show you the 1 + 1 = 2 formula to it. But not everybody's going to do it because not everybody has the same work ethic, experience, confidence, knowledge. Right. Like, you break it down to, there is a lot underlines, to make that happen, and I appreciate that. Like I said, there's a lot of individuals that wouldn't even take the time to speak truth to a promotion. Again, I'm not trying to. Okay, no. I'm keep talking about the book. I am promoting the book. And by the way, it's free. I'm not promoting it for sales. It's free. If anybody wants the audiobook, it's more fun because you hear me to speak it. I'll hook you up. Just let us know in the comment. But there's a chapter called Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And that's because sometimes you don't ask questions about the compensation plan. And they didn't ask. They don't know. They don't need to know that they actually need 3 customers to make that instead of just referring two people. You know, so you go to refer to them like, did I just make it? No. You still need 3 customers. Okay, all right, I'll go get 3 customers. Did I make it? Well, no, they needed to be 3 customers over 3,000 points. Okay, I got 3 customers. They needed to be within your first 30 days.
Yeah.
Right? Like, talk about the don't ask, don't tell. Like, what you didn't ask, so I didn't have to tell you. Like, why would I tell you that there's all these hoops to jump through if you didn't ask me? So it's just a fascinating world if you don't do your homework the proper way.
Yeah, and and it's so crazy because like we're both working with people all the time, and like coaching and then coaching your reps and all that stuff and working with them, and it's like you see someone who really, really wants it. It's kind of like your friend who had the several PBRs and nothing came from it, or she didn't hit the level of success that she wanted to hit, so it didn't work. And it's like you want it for everyone, but it's not for everyone, if that makes sense.
Correct.
And it's like and it's hard because you see people giving it. I shouldn't even say that. Giving it their all when they're really not giving it their all. They're in their mind, they think they are. Right.
I call it the gym, the gym membership. The person who signs up on the day after Thanksgiving and say, "This is my year." Yeah. And then Christmas is around. They're like, well, after the holidays will start. And then you're like, which one? Are we talking about Christmas, New Year, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick? Which holiday? Because you never show up to the gym. But the idea of I have a membership convinces the person that, but I go to work out. I'm part of a gym. That's the same thing that happens in network marketing. I have a back office membership. Yeah, that's the same thing as a gym. But you still got to show up and work out and put in the work to have the results. And most people don't do that.
Yeah, and it's hard to, it's hard to, we talk about who lied to you and all that stuff. Is like, even as sponsors or coaches, and that's why, me coaching someone, sometimes I know I rub people the wrong way because I like to, I'm gonna be real with you, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the hardest thing to do. When someone feels they're in the right or feels like they're doing what's necessary for someone like me or someone to come along and be like, man, look, and you go through all this stuff. Like, you say you want this, and you're doing it for your family, you're doing it for your kids, and how we talk about whys and all that stuff, and people say your why should make you cry. And then if you're not successful, that wasn't your why. So my kids is my why, all this stuff. Well, obviously it's not. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we lie to ourselves about what we want and all this stuff. And then for me, talking to people and trying to get them to understand that this is happening because of you, not because of the company, not because of the comp plan, not because of the service or the product, because people are having success. People are making money in that comp plan. The company is doing what it's supposed to do. People are getting paid every Wednesday or Friday, whatever day you get paid in your company. The common denominator is you. And it's hard to give that conversation to somebody. You know what I'm saying? I know there's a lot of times when we were in our previous company and Ali's out there banging it out. He's bringing everybody and their mama. He talks to people and people sign up as soon as it says hello, he didn't told them.
No. Let me give a disclaimer. I talk to 100 people and I get 1.
Okay.
The secret sauce.
Well, every time I got on the phone with him or heard a call, it was the 1. So, yes. so the whole thing is that, some people are at different levels, obviously, but it's just, and I'm saying this to you guys because I know there's a lot of folks who are really struggling with what they're doing for a living to make their business work or their home-based business work. And you got some people who are your, mentors or coaches, and a lot of people just saying, keep going. And they're giving you all this motivational stuff, but no one's being honest with you. It's like, listen, man, you're not doing nothing. How many people have you talked to in the last week? How many people have you talked to in the last month? Sometimes it's like the reason why I think a lot of people aren't really figuring out that maybe this isn't for them or that they're not successful because of them. They know it on the inside. Most people know they're not hitting the positions or the titles and the money because of their actions, right? It's up to them. And it's almost like they're waiting for someone just to tell them, right?
Well, can I get permission to tell it to everybody once and for all?
Yeah, man.
If you ever ask yourself or say this statement, this is a hint that you're not working your business. Ready? If you say, man, I just need to get one person. Like if I just get that one person, I'll be good. That is the absolute direct hint that you could ever have. Because what you're saying is, I'm not talking to enough people and I'm waiting for one. Boo boo. There's a reason I talk to 100 people, so I never wait on one. I want my pipeline to be so full that the moment this person says, no, hey man, I love you, thank you. Hey, I'm gonna come back to you in a little while. And I'm gone to the next person, because the moment you are waiting for just one, you're putting all of your energy onto that one person. Therefore, for every one person you talk to, you sound desperate. And that person picks up on that energy that you don't have what it takes to be my leader. You're desperate. I don't want to sound or look like you right now, because I love me and I love my comfort and I love how things are happy. And all of a sudden, I have to be in your circumstance and predicament. No, thank you. And I got to pay for it. No, thank you. So there's a reason why people, and again, talking about lies, sometimes they just don't want to tell you you're ugly. Not you physically, but just your demeanor as an entrepreneur is not attractive, but they don't want to hurt your feelings. So they're like, all right, yeah, send me the link. I'll think about it and I'll get back to you tomorrow. Same time, same place, right? Yeah, they ain't coming back to you tomorrow. Tomorrow, for some reason, never comes.
Hey, by the way, Elizabeth, I want to thank you for this right here. It's working. Like I keep plugging into it every time Ali says a good point. It's good to say exactly. Thanks, Elizabeth.
Yeah. Hey, so let's get into it, because I am definitely looking forward for that moment, motivational moment. So, ladies and gentlemen, pay attention. Listen with your eyes, ears, mind, and soul, because Takoya Carlton is the most qualified individual when it comes to a motivational moment. Someone that has inspired me, motivated me, and helped me over the years, and definitely the right strategic partner for you to have. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring before you the one and only Takoya Carlton.
Hey, what's up, family? So again, guys, this is Takoya Carlton, and of course, this is a motivational moment, and I'm going to talk about the 7 rules of life, right? 7 rules of life. The first is smile. It always works out in the end, right? So again, guys, all the things that we think that are, the worst that can happen, things that we don't see any light at the end of the tunnel, guys, smile. It's temporary. Understand, even when it's storming, even when it's raining, it's shining somewhere else. Number 2, be kind. You have the power to make people feel good. So again, guys, listen, here's the thing. If you're in a room right now and you brighten the room, everybody loves you. And, and whenever you walk in, people seem to smile, guys, keep doing that, right? Be kind, because someone's depending on your smile today. Right? Your kindness today. Don't give up. Number 3, don't give up. If it doesn't work the first time, find another way. So again, guys, here's the thing. There's so many people who would go and get started in something, right? In the first moment that they feel any resistance, they give up. You cannot progress. You cannot grow if you give up. You have to give it a shot. You have to continuously give it a shot. Don't give up. If it doesn't work at first, again, do it again and again. That's how you get good at something over time. Number 4, don't compare. Everyone's on a different journey. Understand that. We all have different pathways to whatever it is that we're looking for, whatever success that we're grinding for. So again, my pathway is not your pathway. So again, don't compare my success to your success and how fast I got it to how fast or how slow it's happening for you. Understand, your life already has its own design. So again, don't compare. Number 5, avoid negativity. Avoid negative thoughts, situations, and people. It's important, guys. See, listen, if you want to be successful, guys, find a way to get around people who are already successful. Find a way to get around people who smile, people who are kind, people who do not give up, right? And people who don't compare. They have their own lane. So again, avoid negativity at all costs. And again, these may be people that you love, people that you associate with, people that are around you every day. Listen, sometimes you have to limit the conversation. So if you know that person's negative, right? Sometimes you need to limit the conversation. Maybe talk to them less and find someone like an Ali or Takoya Carlton or Asher or Paul Rankin or Elizabeth, right? Find some people who uplift you, right? So again, avoid negativity. Number 6, make peace with your past. Focus on being in the present and creating a better future. So again, focus on the right now. And that's so important that, again, you focus on the right now. See, guys, what happened yesterday is too late. We can't change that, right? The future isn't here, so we can't really worry about that now. The only thing we can worry about is right now. So again, understand everything that's going in your life right now. Again, you have to make a choice. You have to make a decision to smile, be kind, don't give up, don't compare, avoid negativity right now. So make peace with your past. And of course, fall in love with the present, fall in love with the now. And then, of course, number 7, the last one, 7 rules of life. Take care of your body and mind. One struggles to survive without the other. So again, if you're not taking care of you physically, you're not taking care of you mentally, you can find yourself in a bad situation. That's when negativity can seep in. That's when those conversations that you don't need to be around start to show up even more, because again, you have to have your mind right. And see, once your mind is right, it repels negativity, right? Because you know better. And again, as I always say, if you know better, you ought to what? Do better. And if you take care of your body, guys, your body would take care of you. So it's so important to start doing things like working out. Now you say, well, Miss Carlton, I don't like it, or I don't have time. Listen, even if it's 10 to 15 minutes a day, find a way to take care of your body physically, but also find ways to have more healthier selection in what it is that you eat on a weekly basis. So again, if you love going to the restaurant every day or multiple times a week, well, maybe you select a different restaurant this week, right? Next week, more often than you would go to, let's say, a McDonald's, right? So again, guys, get better, take care of your body, take care of your mind, because if you do both of those, they'll take care of you. So again, those are the 7 rules of life. And of course, I appreciate you all for listening. And it's just been a plum pleasing pleasure. And I look forward to seeing you guys at the top, from the top, over the top. Take care, take charge, and we'll talk to you soon. This has been a motivational moment.
Fire! I told you he would bring the heat, and he always does. And this was just a sneak peek. Imagine if you were to spend an hour with us at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are part of our entrepreneur community, you already got the email. It's in your inbox right now with the link. And please don't share it, because even if you do, they'll stay on the white room. There's like a room with just white walls saying waiting for the host to let you in, because we do have somebody who approves all the individuals. And please take the time to invest in you. Make sure you join us. IAM.media for an average of $1.50 a day, and you can be part of an entrepreneur community that is invested and focused on you. I also have a little bit of a tiny itty bitty bit of announcement. Takoya, how do you feel about an actual show called Who Wants to Be an MLM Millionaire? So
that's nice.
I've been working on it behind the scene. It is coming soon, and we're going to have you, dear viewer, as a contestant. So we're going to be creating an opt-in page if you want to be part of the show. Who Wants to Be an MLM Millionaire? And yes, it's just like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but all of the questions are 100% about business, 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 and business. And it may be quotes and say, who said that? Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, Les Brown, and you have to figure it out. And we're going to be giving you a lot of prizes, a lot of giveaways, and of course, cash as well. So if that's something that you're excited about, let us know in the comment, because I cannot wait. If I love infotainment, and infotainment is information with entertainment married. That's what infotainment, that's what we do all day, every day in influencer attraction media. So I'm super excited. Exactly. So we appreciate you and we thank you. And I cannot be more grateful than ever before to have this conversation with you. Let us know in the comment what part of this conversation meant the most to you. Feel free to hit that subscribe button, that like button, that share button, that comment button, whatever you got to do, because we're literally broadcasting everywhere. And we'd like for you to be part of the conversation. And let us know what topic would you like us to cover for you next week, because next week we're coming back with a full cast and we are actually going to have a special guest as well. We appreciate and love each and every one of you. Until next time, Tokoyo, Talam, peace out, everybody.
Peace out.
See ya.